Once upon a time, at a bustling railway station, there sat a beggar in a quiet corner. He would sit there every day, holding out his hand for alms, but very few gave him money. His clothes were tattered, his face SCD with hardship, and his days passed in hopelessness. One day, a wise monk on his way to catch a train walked past a bier. Out of habit, the beggar extended his hand and asked for alms. The monk paused and looked at him, his eyes filled with curiosity and compassion. He asked the beggar, "My friend, why don't you do some work to earn a living instead of begging?" The beggar looked up and replied, "Please don't mock me. I am a beggar. I have no money, no skills, and no way to start work. That's why I beg." The monk nodded thoughtfully and asked, "How much do you earn from begging?" "Not much," the beggar replied bitterly. "People are heartless. They rarely give me anything, and I don't understand why." The monk knelt beside him and said, "My friend, people don't give you anything because you don't give anything in return. If you want others to give you, you must offer them something in return. And always remember, life is about progress. Don't remain stagnant. Keep moving forward, no matter how small the step." With that, the monk placed a few coins in the beggar hat, smiled kindly, and walked away. The beggar sat there, pondering over the monk's words. Give something in return, he thought. What could I possibly give? Just then his eyes fell upon some wildflowers growing near the railway tracks. An idea sparked in his mind. He got up, plucked a handful of the flowers, and decided that from now on, whenever someone gave him alms, he would offer them a flower in return. The next day, he put his plan into action. To his surprise, people smiled when they received the flowers. Some even gave him more money than before. For the first time in years, the beggar felt a sense of joy. He did not feel helpless anymore. He felt like he was doing something meaningful. Days turned into weeks, and the beggar's simple act of giving started to attract more attention. More people stopped to give him alms, charmed by the small gift of flowers he offered in return. Soon he had saved enough money to think beyond begging. Then one day, the monk's words echoed in his ears, "Keep progressing in your life. Don't remain stagnant." The next day, he went to the market and purchased beautiful flowers. With the money he had collected, he started making and selling flower bouquet to people. Travelers happily bought his bouquet, and his business began to flourish. One day, as he sat at his flower stall at the railway station, counting his earning, the monk's words again echoed in his mind. Life is about progress. Don't remain stagnant. The realization struck him. What's next? He thought. The very next day, the beggar and his flower stall were no longer seen at the railway station. Months later, the same monk was traveling through the region again. As his train stopped at a station, a well-dressed gentleman in a tailored suit entered the compartment and sat in front of him. The man's face lit up when he saw the monk rising from his seat. He bowed deeply and smiled. "Master," the man said respectfully, "do you remember me?" The monk looked at him carefully but could not recall who he was. "I am sorry, my friend, but I don't think we have met before." The man chuckled and said, "A year ago, I was sitting at this railway station as a beggar. You stopped me and gave me advice that changed my life." The man's eyes widened with curiosity as the man continued, "You told me to give something in return and to never stay stagnant in life. Your words stayed with me after you left. I started giving wildflowers to people who gave me alms, and soon I began earning more. With that money, I bought flowers and started selling them instead of begging. Over time, my business grew, and today I am the largest flower merchant in the city." Then he added, "It is all because of your grace that I am here today." The monk smiled warmly, his eyes filled with pride. "That's wonderful, my friend," he said, "but I only pointed you the way. It was your determination, your hard work, and your willingness to move forward that made all the difference." Then, with a gentle smile, the monk placed a hand on the man's shoulder and said, "The journey of life is long, my friend. Always remember, progress is infinite, so keep moving forward, no matter what even the smallest steps can lead to unimaginable success. The story of the beggar who became a successful businessman teaches us that progress begins when we focus on what we have instead of what we lack. Often we feel stuck because we believe we don't have enough resources, skills, or opportunities, but this story shows us that even a small step in the right direction can lead to a big change, and above all, it reminds us of a powerful truth. If you change your thinking, you can change your life. In the beginning, the beggar thought like a beggar, believing that he had nothing to offer and no way to improve his situation. But once he started thinking like a businessman, he saw the value in what he could give, even if it was just a wild flower. That shift in mindset turned him into a successful entrepreneur. Similarly, in our lives, the way we think shapes the way we act and ultimately determines what we achieve. The man's advice to never remain stagnant also holds true for all of us. Life is like a flowing river. When it moves, it stays fresh and full of purpose. But when it becomes stagnant like a pond, it turns stale and loses its value. If we stop progressing in life, whether in work, relationships, or personal growth, we risk losing a chance to live fully. To keep progressing is to keep growing. Every small step forward matters a lot. This story inspires us to shift our mindset, embrace challenges, and take consistent steps towards our goals. Always remember, life is about progress. Keep moving, keep growing, and never stop striving for a better tomorrow.